10 points if you hit him.
Why would I hit the mailman? He's such a nice guy. I should probably start talking now, huh?
Maybe.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The roads here suck here. What's your street name?
What?
What's your street name?
What do you mean?
What do you want people to know you as?
I'm trying to remember what my stripper name in high school was. I don't remember.
So the roads here suck here, along with I don't remember.
Hey!
Bit of a rough start this morning, but we got things moving along. Currently it's 34 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's freedom units. But it's just about freezing pretty much.
I don't understand Celsius.
Celsius makes sense only until you get
it does.
Yeah,
but I can't understand Celsius. Like, you tell me it's 32 degrees Celsius, I have no clue what you're saying.
32 degrees Celsius is hot. 0 is water freezes, 100 is water boils.
I know that.
Celsius makes sense between 0 to 100.
Yeah. But I can't comprehend Celsius.
I like Fahrenheit when, oh, that's a nice dead snake in the road. I like Fahrenheit when it gets negative, because then it makes more sense than Celsius. Coldest temperature I've ever been in was about negative 91 degrees Fahrenheit.
What the hell?
Yeah. So yeah, we're just on a drive now, charging up the battery. What?
I'm your GPS. I'm telling you to drive into the river right now.
Okay.
Okay, Michael Scott, stop it.
Here we are in the water. No, not just not in the water, but there's 3 Mile Island. Now I hope I don't skate on these leaves and just fall into the river.
We actually end up going. I would feel so bad.
Anyways, I should probably really actually start talking now about actual things. So, last Friday I released a video regarding, maintenance of this vehicle, but I haven't really talked about how I try to take care of this vehicle. I do pamper it just a little bit to try to make it last as long as possible. Now, some of these things are legitimate things, and some of these are just myths, but this is what I do to try to keep the car living as long as possible with the least amount of maintenance possible. Does that make sense? It makes sense. So without further ado, I'll try to get into the basics of it. First, when I start the car, let's say it's just the morning, the car sat overnight. I get in the car, I turn the key, the car turns on, and I let it go that way for about maybe 15 seconds. If it's like a nice summer day, 10 seconds at the least. If it's a winter day, maybe 15-20 seconds. The reason for this is to get the juices going, because this car has oil, transmission fluid, coolant, all that stuff. So when you turn the key, I don't want to say that the oil flows through the engine instantly, but it gets it going. And once 10 seconds pass or 15 seconds pass, I'm confident that there is oil in every nook and cranny and that the car is ready to go. Because what some people will do is they'll get in their car, they will turn the key, and they will just put it in the drive and go, which is not good for the health of the car. That said, in the winter, people tend to idle their car for a long time. They'll start the car, they'll let it run for 5 or 10 minutes. I don't do that. I believe that's too much. Let's say your engine has 100 seconds to live. Obviously it lives longer than that, but you could spend 10 seconds with starting the car and then 90 seconds driving it, or you can just let it idle for 100 seconds. Your engine gets used, and if it's cold outside, the car will warm up faster if you actually start driving it. All that matters is that there's lubrication, really. Just don't go ham on it. It's less hard on the engine, I believe, overall, if you just let it idle for 10 seconds or 20 seconds and then drive it, as opposed to letting it idle for 10 minutes or not letting it idle at all and then just go. Alright, so it's important to start the car and just, take your time. Maybe fasten your seatbelt, answer a text message, and then start driving. Now, when you're done driving, I do the same thing. I put the car in park, I wait maybe 10-15 seconds. On a cold day, maybe I'll wait 30 seconds, and then I'll shut it off. With a naturally aspirated engine, this is redundant. It doesn't really make sense to do this. But, it's a good habit to have if, let's say, you find yourself in a turbocharged car. in which case you're supposed to let the fluids go through the turbo and cool it down just a smidge. It's better for the life of the turbocharger then. When I start the car, let it idle. Before I put it into drive, well, as I'm putting it into drive, I don't just put it into drive and go ham. I shift it into drive, I wait a second, wait for the gears to engage. Sometimes it's like a ever so slight audible bump, or sometimes you could see the RPMs on the gauge drop. But once it engages, then I go. So it's not like drive, go. It's more like drive, pause, go. Same when I go like into a parking spot or something. Reverse, wait, go. Drive, wait, go. Basically like that. When I park the car, I back it in. One, it's a lot easier to just back the car in. Always a lot easier. Two, when you wake up in the morning and everything is cold, all you gotta do is put it into drive and go. You don't have to like skip over reverse, or go from reverse to drive, and then, do all sorts of ham shit. Once every 2 weeks, at the minimum, once every 2 weeks, I will check the engine oil. Right? You probably saw me checking the engine oil as we were, doing the whole battery thing today.
Bold of you to assume I was paying attention at all.
At least once a month, I will actually go to the gas station. They have a nice air pump. You basically select, it's like digital. You select the PSI that you want. You fill up your tires, it gives you that PSI. So I don't need gauges or anything. All I do is I go to the gas station at least once a month, and I will check and fill my tire pressure as needed. The idea being that, if the tires are low, it'll wear out the tires a little bit. It'll put additional strain on the car. So I try to avoid letting my tire pressure get low. Now, when I'm cruising on the highway, how does that saying go? Smooth is fast and fast is good? Smooth is fast.
What?
Smooth is fast. Fast is... There's a saying that I can't remember for the life of me now.
I've never heard that saying before.
On the highway or even in the city, smooth is fast, fast is good. Or something like that. The idea is, if you're driving on the highway, pick a speed so that, it's comfortable, but most importantly, so that you don't like roll up to somebody and slam the brakes and then accelerate and then slam the brakes and then accelerate and slam the brakes. You're introducing additional wear and tear into the car when you're doing that. And if you're in the city and you see the light is red up ahead, you could go like the full 30-35 miles per hour and then slam on the brakes. But why would you do that? You could just let off the gas, just roll down the road, and then gently hit the brakes. You get what I'm saying? You got to keep it smooth. Don't slam on the brakes. Don't slam on the gas. On the highway, pick a speed that isn't,
This is not only car advice, but dating advice as well.
In my day-to-day habitat, I should say, short trips are very frequent and kind of a little bit of a danger here. See, because I get in the car, I will start it, I will take a maybe 1 mile drive to Sheets, turn it off, start it, take a 1 mile drive to campus, shut it off, start it, take a 1 mile drive to my apartment, shut it off, start it, take a 1 block drive to the supermarket, stop it, so on and so forth. Car doesn't often have a chance to get up to operating temperature, and the battery doesn't really have a lot of time to charge. A lot of the stored energy in the battery is going into starting the car. That's why I had a flat battery this morning, because it got very cold and because I was doing these less than 1 mile trips. But people say short trips are the killer of cars, but it's not necessarily short trips. It's short trips time-wise instead of mileage-wise. If you look under the oil cap, if you take several short trips, at least in the Chrysler 300, you will see that there's like a white fatty-like substance accumulating at the top of this cap. I'm guessing that's hot oil slightly evaporating but then cooling off at the top of the gas cap. And I keep saying gas cap, it's oil cap. But when you allow it to reach operating temperature, that oil gets very hot and then that substance dissipates, melts away. It looks kind of like grease in a frying pan left to dry. Does that make sense? So avoid short trips. If you do take short trips, make sure you try to get your car to operating temperature once in a while at least. And that's about it, really. That's how I try to take care of my car and keep it running as long as possible. In addition to the regular maintenance, a good driving habit will help your car run as long as possible. Good maintenance, regular maintenance, and just keep her running nice and smooth and gentle. Don't go full ham. So I hope you all found that insightful, helpful, perhaps interesting, I don't know. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Maybe leave a comment if you'd like to see something else. Maybe even think about subscribing. How about that? I'm thinking about getting a new dashboard camera. That'll be a nice thing for 2,000 subscribers.
For some reason, I genuinely thought that sentence was going to end with, I'm thinking about getting a new girlfriend. I don't know why.
Yeah.
The autofill section of my brain was like, that's what he's going to say.
The autofill section.
Feel like that?
How do you want to open every video?
Hello, friends!
There you go. I'm actually thinking about low-key just strapping a GoPro.
Hello, Mr. Obama!
I was thinking about.
Hello! I'll do anything! Anything? Then perish!
Do you know those videos where they like put a GoPro on a
On a
dog,
dog.
and then just like let it run? I'm thinking about doing that.
Just
but-
let me loose in Walmart.
That's right. I was thinking about doing that, but just like in her car. So if you guys think I should lend her the
In
camera,
my car?
yeah, like while you drive,
Oh,
you get to talk to the camera and talk to people and be like, "Hello, friends from the internet who will probably leave negative
My
comments."
thoughts and conversations to myself on my rides to and from the theater.
Right, right. So if y'all want to see that, if y'all want to see, you know, the girlfriend unit's side of the world.
That's my street name, girlfriend unit.
Girlfriend unit. If you guys want to see the world through girlfriend unit's eyes, let me know in the comments. We can make that happen.
Ooh,
Probably.
I should do your makeup.
Cheers, goodbye, ta-ta for now.